Charlotte Flair winning the Women's Royal Rumble felt like the best possible decision when it came to the Women's Royal Rumble. The only other person that I could have seen winning it was either IYO Sky or possibly, if they wanted to have a huge upset, Nia Jax. All in all, I feel like Charlotte Flair was absolutely the right winner. She's been gone since 2023, and we've all missed her. And we know that she's going to come back and probably take the title from Liv. I think what they should do is have her take the title from Liv at WrestleMania, and then Liv will win it back at the first ever 2-night SummerSlam. Possibly in the night one main event. Who knows? But this, in my opinion, is the perfect route to go. I feel like if IYO Sky won it, it would have been cool too. And if Nia Jax won it, well, that would have been quite the upset. But I mean, all in all, I would have been there for it, to be honest, just because of how surprising it would have been. And I feel like we would have inserted Charlotte Flair somehow to make it a triple threat at WrestleMania. Which I wouldn't completely hate, but then again, a lot of people would. The Women's Royal Rumble match started off with IYO Sky and Liv Morgan. And personally, I didn't have Liv Morgan as my Iron Woman, but I had her as one of them. She didn't end up being the Iron Woman. I had Lyra Valkyria. Let me just say, that was the worst decision I could have made because she was one of the first people eliminated in the match, which I thought was insane. She was eliminated by Ivy Nile, which makes sense. They're setting up that. We're probably going to get them too for the IC title at WrestleMania. If Becky Lynch can come back in time, insert her in there too, is what I think they should do. But we're probably at least going to be getting Lyra Valkyria versus Ivy Nile. The other little storytelling / side quests that we got in this match. Piper Niven accidentally eliminates United States Women's Champion Chelsea Green. So that means that possibly, I wouldn't be surprised if we got that match. I don't think we're going to get that match though. In my opinion, we're probably going to get something like Chelsea Green and Mitchin, maybe Nikki Bella. They could add Zelina Vega. I'm not sure. In this match, there were not as many, there was a lot of returns / surprises, but I was expecting some other people. And towards the end of the match, it got kind of underwhelming because we knew who was left and we knew there weren't many surprises. In this match, some of the people that were highly speculated was Asuka, Jade Cargo, and of course, AJ Lee. And Becky Lynch was all but confirmed within the wrestling fan base. However, not a single one of these people actually showed up. For surprises, we did get Alexa Bliss, which felt amazing because the internet everywhere was saying that Alexa Bliss was nowhere to be seen and was absolutely not going to be at the Royal Rumble. I think they did that to throw the fans off. I'm glad to see Alexa back. I wouldn't be surprised if we got Alexa Bliss with a sort of a Judgment Day thing. I could see Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, who could end up being the Women's Tag Team Champions going into WrestleMania and getting that match. That felt amazing. She also did have her little doll with her, which means she's still going to be doing these supernatural elements. When she got on the ring, she wasn't as supernatural and she didn't have the whole overalls thing going on, but she did have Fiend Forever on the back. That may have just been a tribute to Bray Wyatt. I wouldn't be surprised if she's the most human part of the Wyatt Six, or at least as human as Uncle Howdy in some way. That, in my opinion, is how they should do it. Another huge return was Nikki Bella, who might be back full-time. Number 30 was happening, and in my head, I was like, it's either Jade Cargo or it's AJ Lee. It was Nikki Bella. Now, there was very little rumors about her. There was a little, but I didn't hear much about Nikki Bella being in this match. I wasn't completely disappointed to see Nikki Bella, but I was pretty underwhelmed. I'm not the hugest Nikki Bella fan. I'm not a Nikki Bella hater, but there's not a lot for me to like about Nikki Bella. In my experience, Nikki Bella is a legend, a Hall of Famer, but pretty mid-tier. I wouldn't be surprised if she is going to be returning and hyping up the mid-card division. If she goes after Chelsea Green, because I feel like those two would clash really well. But nonetheless, Nikki Bella coming back, it's nice, but it's not what I would have chosen. But I'm guessing that all the other candidates just couldn't be there, or they have a plan for them later on. CM Punk I'm confused about because he was hyping up the Royal Rumble for the women's like, oh, there's somebody, but I can't say who, da 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 da. He was teasing, and it was all but confirmed. I'm just wondering who the heck CM Punk was so excited for. Was it Nikki Bella? Like, I don't think Nikki Bella is that exciting for you to be freaking out and teasing it like crazy. Because if you tease something like that, CM Punk, we're all going to think that it's AJ Lee. No matter how you say it, we're going to see it as some sort of tease to AJ Lee. The Iron Woman for this match was none other than Roxanne Perez, a surprise from NXT, although most of us expected her to be there. She was there for almost an hour and 7 minutes, being the number 3 entrant, and now holds the record for the longest time spent in a women's Royal Rumble ever. Longer than Bayley spent in the Rumble last year, where she came in at number 1 and won the whole thing. Roxanne Perez came in an entrant later and was the runner-up. And she had some great moments. She was in the final moments with Charlotte Flair. She had her own spots. I thought that it was really nice to see her. Not gonna lie though, her attire, maybe it's just me, was very similar to Dakota Kai, and I knew it was her, but it was just very reminiscent of Dakota Kai. Nonetheless, she did great in this match. One thing I was very disappointed with in this match was the placement of Nia Jax. Nia Jax felt almost like an afterthought, but also not. I don't know how to explain it. She came in at number 29, which is not normal for Nia Jax, or for the type of position she would have in a Royal Rumble. You would expect her to come in at like 17 or 18 and clean the house when there's like 13 or 14 people. And I kept waiting for Nia Jax, Nia Jax. When it came to big people, we got Lash Legend, who was okay. B-Fab, like, yeah, she's tall, but she's not gonna eliminate everyone in the Rumble. In fact, not gonna lie, her in-ring skills could use some work. Then again, she's more of a manager than anything. Same goes for Maxine Dupree, who was in the match. She had a small spot. Not completely hating it, but at the same time, I'm just glad that she didn't overdo it, that she didn't overstay her welcome, because she's not really much of a wrestler and needs a lot of work. I expected Nia Jax to come in at some point and clean house. She did clean house at the very end, in possibly the worst way imaginable. It almost looked like it wasn't even a spot, because you had Bianca Belair, Naomi, IYO Sky, Stephanie Valkyria from NXT, all on the ropes. And then Nia Jax just comes in and like bulldozes and runs into the ropes and eliminates like 6 people. I think I named 4. Like 6 or 7 people all at once. And at that moment, I knew Charlotte was winning. Because even though I wouldn't be horribly upset and I knew there was a way to have Nia Jax win, I still didn't think Nia Jax was winning. And that got us down to the final 3 when there was like 10 people in the match. Which, that was insane to me, but it just felt kind of off because we suddenly went from having IYO Sky, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Stephanie Valkyria, and more, to having Nia Jax, Charlotte Flair, and Roxanne Perez. Roxanne ain't winning it. I mean, she's still in NXT technically and not even on the main roster. And Nia Jax was just an unlikely pick. And Charlotte Flair is like the God-given pick to win the Rumble, no matter what. When it comes to this Rumble, NXT was actually very represented. Like, it had a lot of representation when it came to the Women's Rumble. A lot different from the men's. We had Lash Legend, Stephanie Valkyria, Roxanne Perez, and more. Like, it just felt like it was trying to build up the superstardom that NXT has in their women's division. It even had the NXT Women's Champion, Julia, which was on my bingo sheet, so I'll take that, thank you. But dang, I was just surprised. Like, there was so much NXT. Then he went to the men's, and there wasn't a single NXT talent to be found. Nonetheless, still loved both Rumbles, but the women's had a lot more NXT talent. I feel like the women's Rumble had a lot less spots than the men's. There was some side quests being explored, like Nikki Bella shoving Bayley on the outside of the ring. Although, if they want to insert her into the match against Roxanne Perez, that'd be fine, but I don't see that happening, and I do see Bayley versus Roxanne Perez happening, and I feel like Nikki Bella will mesh a lot better with Chelsea Green. There was also, of course, the Piper Niven and Chelsea Green stuff, the Ivy Nile Lyra Valkyria stuff. There was spots. The one thing I want to mention is, unless Alexa Bliss counts, in this whole PLE, not just the women's, there was no Wyatt 6 representation. No Nikki Cross, and in the Men's Rumble, no Uncle Howdy, no Eric Rowan, no Dexter Loomis, no Joe Gacy, and no Eric Rowan. Makes me wonder if the Wyatt Six is just over. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't thought about the Wyatt Six in so long that I genuinely do not give a single crap. They can do a tag team match against the Judgment Day where it's Uncle Howdy, Eric Rowan, Dexter Loomis, and Joe Gacy versus Finn Balor, Carlito, JD McDonough, and Dominic Mysterio, and then do my Women's Championship tag team match, like I said previously. But genuinely, I do not care if that happens. I haven't seen anything with the Wyatt Six, and it feels like WWE doesn't know what to do with them either. And I feel like they just don't fit in Triple H's era of wrestling. I don't know where they would fit. They just are not fitting at all. And genuinely, I'm not sure that I want to see them at all. In my opinion, send them to NXT, see if they can do anything there, because clearly there's no space for them right now. There's plenty of people that they could go after. American Made, The New Day, hell, even the Bloodline. Think about people who are destroying their families. They could even do something with like Seth because of the old Shield stuff. Or they could do something with the Judgment Day, like everybody expects. But we have yet to have gotten just about anything from the Wyatt Six. They've been gone forever. Supposedly, they've been sent over to Smackdown. I don't see what they're going to do there. I think they're just not going to be at WrestleMania, you guys. I think that they're not showing up, and I think they're going to get sent down to NXT during the draft season. Which I know NXT doesn't participate in drafting superstars, but I think that they're just going to get sent down to NXT. We can see what happens there, see if Shawn Michaels has something for them to do down in the developmental space. Of course, if that were to happen, that would mean that Alexa Bliss is not a part of the Wyatt Six, because there is absolutely stuff to do for Alexa Bliss. So, if that happens, don't send Alexa Bliss down to NXT. Do not do it. Do not do it. She has missed too much time to not be a part of today's talent. All in all, the women in this Rumble, I was pretty happy with who was there. I don't know if there was really a crap ton of spots. I feel like there really wasn't. And the Nia Jax spot, the whole Nia Jax inclusion just disappointed me. It felt off, and it felt clumsy. But I'm happy with Charlotte Flair winning. I'm happy to see Charlotte Flair take on Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. And if they do Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley Part 3, we riot. You got that? Don't rage at the Ring Rager.